Hello, wonderful viewers. It's that time of the week again where we bring you all the exclusive content on human rights. And as usual, you know the reason. It's all because of our love for humanity and the desire we have to ensure that your rights are protected and respected at all times. I'm Mama Nupe, and you are watching Human Rights Talk with Nupes. To better understand the topics we have today, I'm very excited to have two people who have already been in this studio already. I have with me lawyer Cletus Alenga, who is a private legal practitioner, a very intelligent, smart young man, a northern man for that matter. And also we have with us here Madame Dolores Enyo Awolime. Today I got it right? Yeah, she's the CEO of Pro DK Consult, and she's also a philanthropist and also a human rights activist. I'm glad to have the two of you back with me in this studio. Welcome.
Thank you.
All right. As you all know, before we delve into the main discussion for the day, we usually talk about the fun and cleverness segment. And the topic for today's fun and cleverness segment is social media validation. And the main topic for today is internet freedom. Social media validation. When we come back, we will talk about it. We take a quick break. Stay tuned. Welcome back, cherished viewers. So the topic for today's fun and cleverness is social media validation. What do you understand by social media validation? In recent times, social media has become something that is everything there is to it. If you put a picture on social media and you don't get likes or comments or you don't get all of those things, it becomes an issue. Why must we be validated by social media? Virtual friends we don't even know. When we can get that kind of confirmation or validation from people we see on a regular basis, on what basis is that validation on? Let's listen to what our guests have to say to that. Ladies first, so we talk to Dolores.
Thank you very much, Amma. I'm not moved by what is on the social media.
Great.
I don't know why people want to live their life on social media, and in reality, they are not like that.
Yes.
So if you put a picture there, whether you like it or not, I don't really see why you should be worried about it.
Yeah.
In the first place, when there was no the social media, how are we living?
Yeah.
Now people wake up in the morning, going to brush, he snaps, eating, snap, I'm here, snap. And that is what we are even exposing ourselves to insecurity in the country.
Criminal.
They get to know everything you do. So you realize that in a particular day, somebody can tell, I know what you are about, how you are moving, what you are doing. And all those things, they want people to follow them. I honestly don't
Let me
agree.
chip in here. Somebody can tell you that they don't update it as and when it's happening. Of course, for Snapchat, it's you
It's
live
a
in
current,
the moment.
yes.
You live in the moment. So if you don't upload it immediately, they can tell that it wasn't immediate. But when it comes to Insta story and then WhatsApp story and Facebook story, you can do it later on. So it may
Sure.
not necessarily be in the moment, unlike Snapchat. So you see most people, what they do, I for one, if I'm using Snapchat, I just save them, you get it. You save it and then later you upload. So you are not living in the moment. Somebody can use that as a justification. So when it comes to security issues, for instance, that you are talking about, it doesn't lie.
Yes, that is one aspect.
Yeah.
The other aspect is that why must we live our life on social
Exactly,
media?
that's the point.
That's my point. That now you see everything we do, we want to be on social media. Now there is pre picture shoots for weddings, for baby making, for
Pregnancy photo
pregnancy
shoots, for life.
issues. Before I knew, if you are pregnant, you're not even to look into mirror. You're not even to go into the pictures and all that. But now people are pregnant and they want to have a photo shoot with it. So,
But they upload it after they deliver. That would be their justification.
but
So
why should you put it there? Why should you? That's my point.
let's listen to what council has to say to that.
The point is, do you have to be validated by somebody else at
You
all?
don't even know? Or exactly.
You see, we have made life so complicated for ourselves, and that is what is causing all these problems. Life is so simple. You live your life, and there you go. The security issue that she's talking about, that you try to justify it. Look, people can actually track and then tell where you will be next. So it's not about whether you uploaded it instantly or you uploaded it after a year or you uploaded it after 2 years. People can actually track, and they know your next movement. And if they want to trace you, they can actually trace you to specifically where you'll be at each point in time.
Exactly.
And I don't understand so many things on social media.
Like
somebody dies, somebody comes and put a picture, then somebody's
Exactly.
liking it.
Yes.
So
Now when there are
what I
serious
mean, you like that the person.
cancel, when there are serious issues, that's when you see people are taking selfie and people are liking it. When we have to talk about the issue at hand. You understand? I think we are blowing everything out of proportion. The way we are taking things is different way. I don't know whether it's the education that is not going down or it is we have intentionally
Or
decided
could
to
it
live
be
like that.
because so many people, the youth, do not really have anything doing because you counsel the way you are busy. Even when I was sending you messages, your time and everything for you to be in the studio, it was an issue until I called you. You reply to the message probably 2 or 3 days later. Okay, people who are really busy with their lives do not have time for that. What do you think? Is it because we have nothing doing as a youth?
No, there are some people who love internet. There are some people who are internet freaks.
Okay.
There are some people who are social media freaks. I understand those one. But I don't think if you have nothing to you staying there, are you being paid?
No.
That's the issue. You have nothing to you buy internet, you buy credit, you use money to buy. Where do you get the money to do all that? You get the thing. So if you have money to buy credit, internet for your social media, for you to use and all that, it means you have something doing. I think people just want to make a believe life that people will believe that they are living well, but meanwhile, it's not
They are
like
not.
that.
Council said something that why at all do you even need to be validated by somebody?
That is
Exactly.
the point. And it's become like a challenge. Somebody has done A. You want to outdo the person. So you do B. Then the person comes back, you want to that is what is happening.
And it's
then
driving people crazy,
you
doing
don't just
unimaginable
understand.
things. What do you think can be done to keep this whole social media
You see,
validation thing?
social media has so many positive uses, and I don't
Yeah.
think I think maybe it's about education. You see, people drive issues of society on social media, and it catches attention
Yeah.
of government.
Yeah.
It gets things done.
Like what we are doing.
Yes.
Here, what people use social media for, about 80 to 90%
It's-
is about their
Yeah.
pictures, their
Yeah.
lives, blah blah.
People-
But you see, it can be used for a lot of good
yeah.
things,
Yes,
to make
and we are not
impact.
exploring that. And I think we probably need to reorient our people to look at the positive aspects of social media and not the self-centeredness aspect of it.
I side with council in a sense that people use it for businesses. You understand? Companies selling, individuals selling, it's working. People are using it for a positive side. It's just the few that are using the negative side that is outshadowing things.
But the negative,
But-
people are making money out of the negative.
Well, I don't know if it is those pictures they put there and they make money from it. That's their business.
They get the opportunity to, because if I'm having all the curves, the Kim Kardashian type of body, which I don't have, but then if I have the Kim Kardashian type of figure, and then I want to, if I'm in my corner, it's only council and my camera crew and you that will see this, right? But then if I take a picture, a bikini picture, or I do something and then I post like this and I do like that, and then I put it on social media, everybody gets to see that, yes, Amanupe has the Kim Kardashian figure and has the all the beautiful stuff. You get more men hitting on you, or you get more women hitting on you. Men even go to the extent of showing their six-pack, because apparently that is what ladies want these days, to get more ladies laid or whatever it is. I don't know.
So
but
when you get ladies laid, or when you happen to get a man, all men around you, what happens?
maybe
next?
they get money.
Money.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. I think that's what
Okay.
most of them are using it
Well, maybe that's their line of business. But trust me. He said, why should you even be worried about what
about it.
people are doing?
Yes.
Lead your life.
Yeah.
Be simple and move on.
What we want to say for me, I would say that, like Council said, I side with what he said. Why do you even need somebody to validate you? I'm one person who has always believed that you should first believe in yourself and what you can do before you look out to what somebody else says you. If you know you are this, you don't need anybody to confirm or validate it to make it what it is. Because if
Exactly.
you are not, and somebody validates you by giving you a compliment, which isn't it, it doesn't make you what they are saying you are. I, for one, yes, I'm the social, I like WhatsApp status and all that, but everybody can attest to the fact that my WhatsApp status viewed is off. Because the point is, when I'm uploading something on WhatsApp or anywhere, I'm not uploading it looking at the number of views that I will get. No. I'm only interested that, okay, at this point in time, this thing is funny, or I did this, I was doing this, so I want to put it there. And that's whether one person views it or 100 people view it.
It's not
I
your
don't
business.
care, because
Exactly.
it's not about them. This is what I want to do. So please, and also you said something about we put something about a dead picture and people like it. People would think I don't like or comment on Facebook and Instagram and all that, but that is not it. I don't see the reason why you would put something like RIP and I go to like it. What am I liking? Am I liking the fact that the person is dead? I see RIP post and then I see like 50, 100, 1 point something million likes. Are you okay? What are you liking? That the person is dead? Or you are liking that they are wishing the person RIP? If you can't leave a comment to express your condolence, I don't think it's necessary. People go to the extent of you see somebody drowning, somebody in a difficult situation, and then instead of helping, you are recording it. What for? Just to put it on social media, and then you attempt as the person who brought the information first. All of this is not necessary. Let's channel all of that energy into doing something positive out of social media. Social media travels wide and far, and it can be used for something great and something impactful. Thank you for listening to us. We'll be right back to continue the main show. I'm Mama Lupe, and then you are watching Human Rights Talk with Lupe. This show is powered by Lupe's Foundation and Family Affairs and also supported by Syllabi GH. You can check them out on Facebook and Instagram, and their number will also be rolling on the screen. They sponsor this show so well. If you need them for any catering services, please contact them. We'll be right back. Welcome back, cherished viewers. So we are back to the main segment, which is internet freedom. We just spoke about social media validation. We deliberately chose this topic together because it goes hand in hand. We are talking about internet freedom. What is internet freedom? At what point in time does it become an abuse of your freedom? The world has actually become a global village, and much of it is as a result of the access to internet. With a click of an icon on your computer, one could get to know what happens almost in every part of the world with just a click of an icon on your computer. The access to internet does not, however, mean that there is no limitation in its usage. Governments the world over are trying to control the citizens' data and limiting their access to content they can access on the internet. Governments are using claims such as proliferation of fake news to destabilize the use of internet in their countries. This brings into sharp focus the very important use of internet freedom. So now, the countries that have limitations, like China and the rest that have limitation on the use of internet, Facebook, and all of that, are their reasons justified, and must the government be a part of it? I'll first ask Council to give us an insight of what exactly internet freedom means.
Well, internet freedom has so many aspects to it. The underlying factor is your right to access information. Freedom of information is actually a fundamental human right, and one of the aspects of that right is access to information online. It deals with even issues how to do with data protection, your right to privacy online, your own information you put on social media and all those things. Who can use it? How it can be used? All those things has to do with media freedom. What websites are accessible to the general public? Like you mentioned, some states block certain links which are not accessible to some of them. So what you can access on the internet, what information you can get, what your own information on the internet can be used or cannot be used for, all the things that internet freedom deals with.
Yeah.
Okay, Dolores, what are some of the parameters that can be used in measuring whether a group of people do actually enjoy internet freedom?
Well, with the internet, like Council said, it is a freedom that we have to get. It's our right to information, but how to access it. You understand? So as a particular country, okay, like Iceland, like them, I think they have about 1.6 million people who have access to the internet that they were supposed to enjoy.
Let me go to Council to come in to tell us what are some of the parameters that are being used.
Yeah, so as to whether one enjoys media freedom or
Yes.
a country enjoys internet freedom, you have to look at, first of all, who are the providers of internet, the internet service providers. If internet service is provided solely by government, there you have a lot of restrictions
Of
on what
course.
you can get. Because the government decides what you see and what you do not see. But if you have private entities providing access to internet, then of course what you can get is broader than the restrictions that will be placed by government. Again, you have to look at what information is accessible. You mentioned that already, that in some countries you can't even access Facebook,
Yeah.
you can't access WhatsApp, you
WhatsApp.
can't even access Google in some. But you see, Google has become almost like the yeah, it is the hub of information now. And, although there are several other search engines. So if you can't access Google, then it means that of course
You already denied a lot of
Yes.
information.
things are gone. So and it's about so you have to look at who is providing the service, what service is being provided, and then availability
Of the service.
of the service. So if you have a country and maybe about 3/4 of the people, because of either poverty or others, or because the service doesn't extend to that area, they can't even access the internet at all, even if they have the means. Then it means that of course they are being denied because they are totally cut off from accessing it. So the internet service too has to be available throughout the country so that it will be accessible to everybody. But if you don't have access, then it means that as for you, then you are totally cut off.
Cut off. Okay. We can say that there is a general decline in the use of internet. There is a general decline in internet freedom. What do you think has accounted for this, Dolores? What has accounted
I
for the
think
decline?
I think the decline, there is a general decline. Some of the things that can account for this decline is democracy. Okay. We not, you see, couple of people will tell you they don't believe in democracy. You understand? And election also can lead to that, those declines. Because if there is a power change, like Council said, we have to look at the provided. If it's the government providing it for us, another government can come and say that, look, we cannot provide for everybody. So there is a decline in that. If it is private sector, the private has also sometimes ride on the government's shoulders. You understand? I mean, every government wants the kind of people they want to bring into the country. So if the internet providers are either private or sector, democracy can determine it, or the power in government can also determine how far it should go. There are some political parties or some government that come on board and say, look, I want internet to go everywhere. It can be accessible everywhere. Some also come and limit it, like, look, urban cities. It can also be there.
Okay,
So
let me come in quickly. Don't you also think that one of the reasons why, I think that one of the reasons why there is a decline in this internet freedom is as a result of the information I earlier on gave, fake news, the proliferation of fake news, because now media goes far with the use of internet. So even if it's a fake news, which can lead to a whole lot of issues. I think to give a very typical example about what it's not internet, but it's more of media. What happened in Rwanda? What resulted in the genocide?
Yeah.
What
Genocide.
happened? It was somebody they respect, somebody who has voice, who just went to the radio station, made a hate speech, and then they got her because that was already boiling in them, and they were looking for an opportunity to do that. And the moment the person they respected just gave that hate speech, they took it upon themselves and started causing. And you can imagine the massacre and level of. Okay, so bad news. Don't you think is the reason why most of the governments are trying to cut down on internet freedom?
You know, internet is our right. It's a privilege we have to
Yes.
enjoy.
Yes.
You understand? That's why the council was saying that if it's a government providing, the government has strong restrictions on it, even if it's private. But you see, you can't tell me news to you might be bad, news to somebody might be good. But the issue is that if the news has its source, if there is a concrete or there is a truth in everything that they are saying, every news has a source to it. So you can't say that because somebody said something bad or the news is not coming well, so because of that, we should decline some people from having those things. No, you can't say that. They have their rights, especially a country where we are a democratic country like Ghana. We have the right to information and right to access internet. You understand? So if somebody is in some part of the world, in the country, and has seen something and has brought it out, and you think that this one got nothing to do with your government or this one got nothing to do with a particular people, so because of that, those people should be denied of internet. I don't think it's the right thing.
Okay, Carl, so let's look at it. It seems that most of this internet freedom, that is being the freedom to access internet, which is being curtailed, okay, it's mostly done arbitrarily. It's imposed, the government imposes it on the citizens arbitrarily without seeking their consent as to which information we should leave for you to have access to or not? Why do you think it's right?
Yeah, no, you see, again, it's going back to what she said. It's a right. And
Everyone
in
is,
fact,
yes,
it's a fundamental
fundamental human
right.
rights. Yeah.
So it cannot be curtailed arbitrarily.
Yeah.
Before you can curtail it, you need to justify
Why?
why you want to curtail it. You understand? It might seem arbitrary because most of the reasons for curtailing it has been based on security reasons.
Reasons, yeah.
They will say, "Oh, in the interest of national security,
Yes.
we want to do it." And what the national security is,
They don't really tell us
yeah,
what
because
Exactly.
what it is to, they will say it's national security. They can't disclose. So national security, because of national security, you should then blah blah blah. Then so like she mentioned elections, for example. Some countries shut down social media on election day because it can trigger so many other things. People use it to propagate fake news. People use it to propagate fake results, which cause tension and all
Tension,
those
yeah.
things in the society. So countries have tried to do that and all those. It's not really. You see, before you can do it, you must have reasonable grounds for doing it because those who have tried it, of course, on election days, some of them had failed, and we all came to understand that it is not a solution. The same way people will be propagating fake news there, the same way people will also be trying to propagate things
Good
that will
news.
actually lead to freedom.
Yes.
So it's a balancing
And I think
thing.
to buttress what you said, when it comes to election, if you try to restrict people from having access to information because of fake news and everything, I could also sit back and say that you are restricting me because you want to rig.
Precisely.
Yes.
Because if I'm following it, I will know what constitutes.
Exactly.
It may be fake news, but then if I have access to that fake news and then you come back with the right thing, I quickly correct myself. But
Precisely.
they have no information as to whatever it is that is going on because internet has been shut down. I could sit and say that you rigged.
It's
Completely.
true. I agree. And like they said in our proverb, there's no smoke without fire. You understand? So if you have decided to decline me from accessing it, it means there is something more to it that you don't want me to see. You understand? So election for me, I don't think
It's
it
a good
happens.
reason, right?
It
Yeah,
happens. It
and
happens.
it is not
This
a good
country it
reason.
has
It's not a good
happened. You
reason.
realize internet is never going to anything you are sending bounce back
Oh no,
to
no,
you.
I don't think that is. They are trying to
Anyway.
curtail it. I think it's just the network
It's the
problem with the
network
telcos.
problems.
because a lot
Yes.
of you see,
A lot of people
it
are
gets
trying
to a
to get
time
information.
It gets to a
there's
time
lot
you
of
get
traffic,
choked.
yes.
Exactly.
There's a lot of
The
traffic.
So
traffic
that is
on
not
it.
deliberate. It's not
Well,
because they are
it's not. I
trying to
agree.
curtail that
Yes.
freedom. We'll be right back to continue. Welcome back, cherished viewers. So, as we were talking about whether or not it's fair for the government to impose the curtailment of internet freedom arbitrary on citizens, we can see that it's not right. At no point is it okay for you to impose it on us arbitrarily like they do. This will take us to the next question, which says that is it fair? Is the government being fair? Which you already answered that they are not being fair
Yeah.
when they instill that kind of restriction on us. Okay, there's been instances where ordinary citizens have spread false news through social media, leading to some level of unease in the country. Do you think citizens are partly to be blamed for the government imposing this kind of restrictions on us?
Government usually responds to issues in society, and probably the spreading of fake news may be one of them. But I am of the view that spreading of fake news is actually not a justifiable means of curtailing internet freedom. If if government makes access to information, the right to information really accessible, people can actually make the difference between what is fake
Fake news,
and what
yeah.
is true. So if
Yeah.
government wants to counter fake news, what government has to do is to make access to information
The right
easy.
information
Yes.
easy.
So that if you see the news and you want to cross check, you can actually cross check with another click and
Yes.
find out whether what you read on A is correct.
correct.
But if the government is not putting out information for us to cross check, you don't go ahead and
Cut us off
deny us a
completely.
right because somebody else will be abusing. Of course, every right comes with an abuses. But you see, you don't rely on the abuses to curtail the positives of the other side. So the fact that the right is being abused It's not a justifiable means. We have to find ways of punishing or stopping the abuse of it, rather than preventing people who would have enjoyed it would have followed the law and enjoyed it within their remit without going overboard.
So your point
Yeah.
goes to support the fact that the government did this not necessarily because of the unease some of this fake news brings into the country, but it's because they have an agenda to perpetuate their own ulterior motives, which they want to do on the blind side of the citizens.
No, not really. I really don't agree.
Okay,
If
so
I'm getting,
what I'm trying to say is that, like council said, if they think that it's to help cut off fake news that creates a lot of uneasiness and anxiety in the country that may lead to war or anything of the sort, and so they deny us access to that. Could it be there are some school of thought that says that they do this not necessarily because of the unease the fake news produces or gives us, because like he said, if it's because of fake news, you can rather work on something to ensure that we have access to the right information.
Exactly.
And not curtail our access to internet.
internet.
So this curtailment, could it be as a result of their own ulterior motive? Okay, they have an agenda to perpetuate some ulterior motive, and then they just use this as a means.
well, I can't say for sure that it's they have ulterior motives.
Okay.
But like council said, we should have freedom to be able to access information. You understand? If somebody, on the other hand, has brought something against it, we should find a means of punishment, and that will rather cut down people from misbehaving. You understand? So if you know that maybe A has brought an issue which has nothing to do with whatever motive the government has, and you think that there is a punishment to it, you grant it. And in this part of the world that we come from, people are scared of punishment.
Yeah.
So when they see the punishment is going on, I think it will reduce than you curtailing us not getting access to internet.
So it's more like the government, instead of curtailing this right, should rather enact laws
You see,
that would
you
punish.
see, in jurisdictions or in the other parts of the world where they have put those restrictions, it has always been for some purpose or some motive. Talk
For a
about-
period.
Yeah, so yes, either for a period or forever. Like
Okay.
if you talk about China, for example,
Yeah.
or some of those Asian where you cannot
hardly
read
have-
what you want to read,
Yeah.
but you read what they give you. It is kind of an agenda to conscientize the people to a certain agenda for them to follow a certain pattern of life. And I think they have been successful with it because China keeps developing.
Yeah.
Now
Because they have been trained on it.
Yeah, so
you understand?
so they-
Education has gone down with them.
Yes.
So they get
so,
it.
So they are constrained as to what they know, and what they read and what they can access. But in other jurisdictions where they have done it for a short period, you realize that
There are issues.
some of those issues they have done it for a specific purpose, and most of them have been alongside maybe elections or something like that. And so there are other things. But the point I was trying to make earlier was that that cannot be justifiable. And once it's not justified, somebody can actually go to court and challenge it. Because the right to information includes the right to information on the internet.
Internet,
Yes.
And so if you are going to deny that person that right, you have to have justifiable reasons for denying that. And if it is on fake news, in my opinion, it is not justified because it is your duty as government to actually provide the correct news.
So from our council, you can actually take the government, you can see the government if they prevent you from having access to information on the internet because
Because it's
it's
your
a
right.
fundamental human right.
Yes.
Access to information is a fundamental human right. And one of the places we can easily have access to information is on the internet. It's on the internet. That's why
Yes.
there's internet freedom. So if the government at some point in time is curtailing your freedom from accessing internet, if the reasons are not justifiable or you think they are not good enough, you can take the government on to explain or find out why you were
Why
denied
that-
access
yes.
to internet. The next question would be, how do we ensure that citizens' rights to internet are protected vis-a-vis the need for government to ensure their security? You get it? We should know that these two are intertwined. Okay, we may have access to information. It's our right to have information and to have access to the internet. Also, it is the right of the government to ensure that there is security. And most of these security issues come from the internet. It's information, okay, because there must be exchange of information. So in trying to ensure that there is security and everything is safe, and also ensuring that citizens are exposed to information as and when they need it. What can be done to blend the two successfully?
You see, issues of security is one thing that you cannot downplay.
Exactly.
Because in a I mean, not few years, but just very recently, there were news about Boko Haram and ISIS recruiting through the internet, through Facebook and other things. And I know for a fact that Ghana police actually arrested some people who were standing trial for having, join ISIS or one of those things through internet. And so it is one of the things that you cannot take for granted. But again, it comes back to the balancing aspect I have been talking about. You have to balance the right of the citizen to the information as against the security of the state, which is very paramount. So it has to be, before you can bring in any issue of curtailing the right, you have to assess the security situation of the state and see whether at that particular moment that you want to impose some restrictions, whether the security of the state at that particular moment justifies such imposition.
Okay.
So it cannot be a blanket kind of restriction, but you have to do a targeting kind of restriction, so that if you know that this is the problem, this is the national security problem you have identified, and you want to resolve that, whatever imposition that you are imposing
Putting
on
in place at the time
should be limited to curtailing that particular problem you have identified, not to shut down internet generally.
Okay.
Because any limitation to a right must correlate with the nature of the mischief that you are trying to cure. So if you have identified a specific national security problem, and then you want to let the restrictions you are imposing be targeted at that particular problem, not to just shut down the whole internet because some people are doing ABC.
Yeah, I also agree with counsel again. You see, security matters are a bit dicey. You cannot play with it. You understand? So, like counsel said, if there is a security issue or there is an issue with the government and you want to handle it in that level. You don't mess it with the citizens' issue that they
access
are
to
bringing.
information.
Yeah, the access to information. Otherwise, you're going to mess things up. You realize that at
What
the end
if
of it,
in trying to do that, it interferes with the citizens' access to information? Because the example you gave, the two Ghanaians that were arrested, being recruited to ISIS through the internet, it was their usual day-to-day correspondence on the internet that got them recruited. Okay, so if the government is trying to prevent something like that, if they don't deny access entirely, how do they keep such a situation?
That is how I was saying that when you want to impose a restriction on a right, the mischief you are trying to cure must correlate with it. So it's shutting down the only solution. If there are other means which has less effect on the right, then you have to use that other lesser means to achieve it. Rather than, of course, one of the shutting down is the easiest. You understand? But is it the only way?
It's the easiest and fastest.
If it is not the only way, but there are other ways to do it, then you have to use that other way, even though they might not be easy, because you have to balance. You can't take away the rights totally.
Of people, yeah.
So you have to the measures you are putting in place. You take into consideration the fact that people have rights which have to be enjoyed. So if shutting down is the only solution, then yes, you may have to shut down for national security reasons. But if there are other means of solving the situation without necessarily shutting down, then you have to resort to those other means rather than shutting down entirely.
Okay, we will take a quick commercial break, and when we're back, we will delve into the remaining issues. This show is powered by Nupe's Foundation and Family Affairs, and is also sponsored by Syllabi G8. It's a catering service. You can contact them on Facebook or Instagram. Their handle will be rolling on the screen for you to contact them for all of your catering services for all sorts of occasions. They will get you sorted. We'll be right back. Welcome back, cherished viewers. So on to the next question. What do you think Ghana's level of internet freedom, considering there haven't been any major shutdown in Ghana when it comes to internet freedom as compared to other countries?
I think Ghana, we are enjoying the privilege of getting access to information. for now, we haven't experienced any shutdown
Yeah.
because of anything that is happening around. But my issue is we are enjoying it. We are being allowed to access information as and when we want it. And then I think for now, it's good for us as people of the nation. But how my issue with it is how we are abusing it.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes.
There are ways that Ghanaian, even though we have the freedom, the abusement is also becoming too much. Like things that are threatening that we are showing. Some could be real, some could be fabricated and all that.
Threatening things like what? If you could go into.
Like recent, okay, let me take this girls at Takrady issue. Okay. I mean, when the issue came out new, you saw pictures that
Yeah.
were going out. You understand? Pictures that were going out. Some would say Osheha, some would say it's here, it's there. They were all false alarms that they were giving the police. You understand? And this was something that was difficult for the police to come out to say where exactly.
And this
they
was
found.
an issue of national interest. So
Yes.
to be joking with this like that, I think was uncalled for.
Yes, the
because
joke was
we needed
becoming
to
too
exactly.
much.
Yeah.
Where there was serious, that's the problem I have with the security, the freedom we have in this country. Where there are seriousness, we are making joke out of it, and it doesn't make the information flows. So it makes getting information back or getting access to what we need to get access to becomes a bit dicey because they also don't have the information. Don't forget that the security relies on us also as we rely on them
Yes.
also. So for me, we are enjoying it
Because
but-
we are helping. Sometimes
Yes.
with the information that we give, we are helping. For instance, what happened to this Major Mahama?
Mahama.
Okay, if not because of social media, I don't think most of the information that the police were like privy to, they would have gotten it.
Exactly.
It helped them.
So-
The
so
citizens
if-
and then the internet helped the police to get privy to most of the information that they got as far as that issue was
Yeah,
concerned.
just this recent murder of the headmaster. We got the information through internet.
Internet.
You understand? So it's also helping. But like I said, we make fun of everything. So even though we have access to information, the way we the citizens are also carrying it sometimes doesn't look well. So I don't know if
Council,
when
I
they-
side with Dolores. I think Ghanaians, because there's never been any major shutdown, and then this internet freedom thing, we've not been taken out of it for even a while. We are abusing it, and we don't know the power we have. We don't know that we are enjoying this serious fundamental human rights that others are craving for but do not have. We have it on the silver platter, and then we are
Yes,
abusing it. What do you
yes.
have to say to that?
Precisely, and it's because I think a lot of people don't even know that there's a possibility of that shutdown. People don't know that.
Oh, you think people don't know that the government can shut it down?
People just pick their phones and what they are doing is uploading WhatsApp status and all those. They don't know that there's a possibility of they not being able to do it.
Hey,
Well, it's true.
Wow, then,
Yes.
this is to the viewers and to the public.
you
Yes.
look at
You need to know that the government can at any point in time shut down internet, and then your access to internet is curtailed. And most of the time when this happens, they don't seek your consent. It's done
Of course.
arbitrary. It's done arbitrary. The government just decides to cut it off, and then you have no access to it. So if what council is saying is anything to go by that we don't know, most people do not know, then please be informed. It can happen. Even as we speak, there could be something going on, and then the president will just get up and say there's complete shutdown, and you have no access. The Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram that you pick your phone and easily go to because you think you have data, no, it's not like that. There are people in other countries that have internet access more than you do, but they don't even have the chance to go on internet as easily as we do
Yes.
here. So let's not take it for granted. Now let's get back to council to tell us what he was saying.
Yes. So the point I was making is, and I think she said it all. We have, as for Ghana, we are I think we are privileged.
Yeah.
Okay, we've enjoyed most of our rights without any serious interruptions or restrictions from government. And it all contributes to the abuse.
Yeah.
But like I said earlier, we cannot use the abuse as a means to take away the right of the people who are using it within their remit, unless maybe it's a national security issue. So I think it's all about education. We should let people are using it for a good cause. People are using it to prevent crime.
Yeah.
People use it to take pictures of people committing crime somewhere,
Yeah.
and police take trace of it, and then be able to. So people are using it for good cause, but people are also abusing it left to right, left here and there. So I think it boils down to education. We need to educate the public, on the how to use this
Internet.
effectively, not anyhow, but how to use it effectively.
I think I'll give you the last question to last but not the least. Are there any cybersecurity laws in operation in Ghana that regulate the use of internet? Cybersecurity laws in Ghana.
Yes, the Electronic Transactions Act has restrictions.
I think viewers listen to what council is saying about this law. It's very important.
The Electronic Transactions Act has things which has to do with. We don't have a Cyber Security Act per se, but the Electronic Transaction Act, which actually deals with how we transact business, how we use internet and all those things. It deals with aspects of cyber security, and the police have powers in there they can do or so many other things.
Okay.
And there are a lot of criminal things that are there that some of us do without knowing. For example, if you possess a nude picture of a child or something like that, it is child pornography. Even if you have it on your phone only, it's a criminal offense. If you send it to somebody as a criminal, people take these things and then they start sharing it around.
Exactly.
If you have it on your phone, it's a criminal offense.
How much more?
Then if you share it, it's also a criminal. So if you have it and you share it, you have committed two different offenses.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of security issues in that particular law, and which maybe we haven't taken them seriously as a country.
Maybe it's because there's lack of education.
Yes, but you see, one of the ways of enforcing laws is about the law enforcers also taking a proactive step.
Exactly.
You understand?
In enforcing them.
Exactly. So if 2 or 3 people are arrested and it's in the media that somebody has been arrested for having a nude picture on his or her own phone.
Daughter or something.
It's not somebody's phone, your own phone. But we are saying you cannot have those kind of things on your phone.
Yeah.
So if something is done and then people are arrested, people are prosecuted, the general public know that this are going on. I'm sure it's one of the ways we can educate them on what they can do and how they cannot do. People share nude pictures every day.
Yeah.
And
every day.
I think counsel is again right in a sense that I listened to one DCOP who was talking about you can just be working, somebody can demand for your phone as an officer of the law.
Yes.
Just look at what is on your phone. I was just listening, I was like, really quickly I went to my phone. I wanted to delete everything that I don't want trouble. Because if they have that powers, like he's saying there is an act to it, if they have that powers and you are working and they feel like you are possessing something that is harmful to the nation, decide to look on your phone. And they should see nude pictures of people there. They have the right to arrest you.
Yeah.
You understand? So I think we need to be well informed, well educated, so that we know that some of these things, possessing it yourself is a crime. Now sharing it, giving to 2, 3 people, look at this person, look at that person.
You've committed several offenses.
Which can lead
in the few years, I think it's kind of, but just about a year or 2 ago, there were a lot of issues about leaked tapes.
Videos until recent,
videos,
until a year or 2 ago, it's all come on the low. Because people have come to know about this thing. But until recent, like you're saying, it was all over. You see people, somebody has a nude video of somebody, they upload it, they have. It was too much.
I think it is in the heat of that the DCOP came up with all that.
And it actually deals with it's also an infringement on the right
of the person.
Of the people whose video you are sharing. Because you are sharing without their consent.
Consent, yes.
So if I send a video to you, it is meant for you.
You
cannot share it with somebody else. So that and let me say this: it's actually part of recently the Supreme Court has made a bold decision that even if I call you and you put me on loudspeaker,
yes,
you are breaching my right.
Yes,
because I intended to speak to you. So if you want to put me even on loudspeaker, you have to let me know that I'm on loudspeaker, because if I'm talking to you, what I will say is even from when I know that they are around.
Yeah.
So if I know that you are the only person I'm talking to, I may say something things, but I call you and then you put me on loudspeaker and everybody else is listening, and then I start saying things that I already have said. If I knew that, so we ought to be careful how we use internet. We ought to be careful how we use social media.
Yeah.
Well, all too soon, we come to the end of another exciting episode of Human Rights Talk with Lupez. As Council said, most of the time in Africa here, you receive a phone call and then you just put it on speaker. But for the fact that I have a legal background, I didn't even know that it was an offense. Because if somebody calls you and you put it on speaker, you are infringing on the person's fundamental rights. Because, like he said, I intended to speak to you and only you. And most lawyers take this seriously. If a lawyer is talking to you, so be very cautious. If a lawyer is talking to you on phone and you're going to put him or her on speaker, inform him that counsel.
It's not even just lawyers.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that they tend to really act upon it, because most citizens think it's nothing, but then they take serious because you don't know what they are discussing and what information, because of the way our profession is. It's difficult based on the information we want to give out. So
Okay.
it's very, very difficult. But then it's also an offense all over, whoever. If you're speaking on phone and you want to put it on speaker, just let the other person know that you're on speaker. So you can say whatever they want to say without any form of restrictions. And then what they said about internet freedom, Ghana, luckily we are privileged.
Very
We've never
privileged.
experienced any sort of major shutdown of the internet. It's our right to have access to the internet at every point in time. So let's exercise it and also help the government to do what they have to do when they have to take security measures. If for some security reasons they need to do this, we should be able to help the government to be able to do this and do it. It's been yet another exciting moment with you guys. We've loved it and I hope you also enjoyed it. Stay tuned to us and please do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Put on your notifications and stay up to date with all the exclusive content and human rights. And also do well to leave a comment so we get interactive. You tell us what you would want us to discuss next time we come on this show and what your worries are. And then we see how best we can deal with that. Also do well to follow all of our social media handles, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. It will all be rolling on the screen. We are also looking out for sponsors. If you're interested in sponsoring anything, my costume, the show, we don't even have water here. If you want to give us water, anything you want to sponsor, please do well to contact any of the numbers rolling on the screen and also send an email to the email address. Thank you for watching and enjoy your evening. I'm Ama Nupe and you just watched Human Rights Talk with Nupe. Thank you.